What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have some exciting news. Um, I'm trying to talk while I'm playing. Probably should have just recorded some gameplay and then started talking, but we're gonna do it this way instead. So, as you guys can see, there is console game video on your screen right now. I've been working at getting an Elgato capture card over this summer. Right now, as of recording, we are at the end of July. So now that I have a capture card, what does that mean for the channel? Going forward, that means bringing you guys some NHL 26 content with my friends as we play World of Chell together. And that brings us to NHL 27. We're going to do some gameplay on that, maybe a franchise mode or two this year, along with some Be a Pro goaltender. I'd like to get that done as well. I have a couple other games in the pipeline like CFB 27. I'm going to start recording very shortly a series that I'll be able to put up later in the year, but I do want to start a live stream Journeyman series in that game, starting at the bottom and trying to get to the top. I'm bringing up programs along the way, doing our part there. Also, this is kind of going to be a two-part video. I do want to get into some opinions about the Toronto Maple Leafs going forward into the new NHL season, so we'll do that in the second half of this video. If you don't care to hear what's going on with the channel, just skip ahead to that part of the video if you want to hear my opinions on the Maple Leafs. Other games I plan to bring to the channel: UFC 6. I do want to get some of that in. I want to get a career mode in as well. We're still going to be sticking with Franchise Hockey Manager, the new one when it comes out. I believe it's number 8. So that'll be fun. I'm thinking of maybe just a college run, and that's all subject to change, but a college run would be what I'd want to do most on there. I think it would pair very nicely with college football. You can have one and then the other. And then GTA 6, when that comes out, that's going to be huge. That was part of the reason I got the capture card. I did want to do the story mode on that. So I'm super excited for this new chapter on the channel. I'm sorry I've been gone for a little bit, but that will all change very shortly. Unfortunately, going into September, I will be back in school, so hopefully that doesn't ruin the uploads too much. I'm honestly just excited to game like this again. Once upon a time, I did have a capture card, and I did record console gameplay, but I was much younger, and I feel like I can do it better. I can do it better this time around. I'm excited for the things that I have in the pipeline. Yeah, all in all, we're doing very well. Again, I can't get over the fact of how excited I am to get back on this, and most importantly, like, bring my friends in to this as well. I think that would be very good content for you guys to watch. I did check my YouTube. I've been randomly checking view counts, and right now, obviously, nothing is about the view count. I'm just happy to be producing content that some people like to watch. I'm just hoping that this capture card can bring more of that. But yeah, I've been checking view counts and stuff like that, and it seems to be that the Franchise Hockey Manager series was, I would call, a success. It sucks to have ended the way it had ended. I did have more videos in the pipeline to be released, but I ended up just obviously getting busy with the summer, enjoying my summer away from schooling. And I didn't release those. So as it stands right now, that series will be over. Some final touches on that series. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. developing Caleb Malhotra, bringing in Matt Nyes, getting so close to a Stanley Cup against the Islanders in that 1 year. It was so long ago that I recorded that, so sorry if I don't remember specifics, but if you want to watch it, feel free. It should be linked in this video, and it should be in a playlist as well, so it's easy to find. Anyways, guys, that's a little bit of a channel update. Now, let's get to my predictions on the Maple Leafs. Alright, here on Puckpedia, let's start off with the first move, which was the Philadelphia Flyers acquiring Joseph Woll and Simon Benoit from the Maple Leafs for Samuel Ersson, Emile Andre, and a 2026 third. Now, if you remember back to my video that I made on the Maple Leafs and what I would do, Joseph Woll was one of the guys being traded. It gets pretty crazy with my predictions and this. There was some that were kind of similar, which, whatever, and then there was some I was way off with. I don't have that video up and I have not watched it since uploading it, so I don't know if I'm remembering things correctly, but I do remember Joseph Woll was one of the guys I was thinking about trading, and I believe it was either for a second or a third round pick. I didn't think the Leafs could get this much. In my opinion, this was a great deal for the Maple Leafs. They got Emile Andre, who they desperately need on the back end. They got rid of Joseph Woll, kind of clearing that goaltending backlog. The only thing I didn't like was getting rid of Simon Benoit, but I think it should be fine. Honestly, they have a lot of young defensemen that deserve a chance. So, again, removing some backlog on the back end and in between the pipes is nice. And after that, Samuel Ersson didn't last very long, so they got basically a fifth, a third, and Andre for Joseph Woll and Benoit. I think that was a great deal. Yes, they ended up sending Ersson over for a 2027 fifth. Then Gavin McKenna was drafted. We'll get into that in a second. The Leafs then traded Brandon Carlo, which was a crazy deal. They got two thirds back in the current year's draft that just passed. Honestly, you gave up Minton and a first for Carlo. Bit of an oversell in hindsight, as we have to dodge ads. I'll try to stay on top of that, but so yeah, they gave up a lot for Brandon Carlo. They got something back for him, which is nice. Some decent depth picks. We'll see. We'll have to see what those players turn out to be. But honestly, at least getting something for Carlo, not getting rid of him for nothing. You get two things back when you give up two things. They found late draft steals. Nyes being one of them. He was a second rounder, but it was a good pick there. Nick Robertson was another good player they picked up later in the draft. So they've picked up late guys. They've picked up Tinas Luke Koblar from Norway, I believe it is. Again, a guy that's going to be coming up, but a guy that has some promise so far. Then they did a pick swap at the draft. There's some other draft picks there. They re-signed Troy Stecher to a 2-year deal, signed Jack Roslovic to a 2-year deal, signed Sergei Bobrovsky, Colton Sissons, Teddy Bluger, Brandon Duhaime, Zach McEwen. They all got them signed around July 1st, as you can see there. Then they traded Nicholas Robertson to Pittsburgh for a fourth. They didn't get too much back for him. Again, they have a backlog there, so anything you can get back for a player they are not using, I think, is a solid deal. Would have liked to have seen more, but again, Pittsburgh kind of has us at their mercy, right? We need to get rid of somebody who isn't the best, who's running out of time to develop into a player. He might have a good later end to his career, but he was hyped up quite a bit from the beginning. So it does suck, but they did get something. Then they traded they acquired Nick Paul from the Lightning for Dennis Hill to be in a third and a fourth. I feel like this trade was kind of based off the fact that Artur Akhtiamov, the goaltender that played for the Marlies in the playoff room, I think this trade was based off that. I really do. I think he proved that he could be a third goalie, at very least. And again, then you got to get rid of Hildeby. I think they got back a good player in Nick Paul. So we'll have to see how that turns out. He was a Leaf killer in 22 or 21? I think 23 they beat Tampa and then played Florida and got smoked. So I think it might have been 22 or 23. Anyways, he was a Leaf killer at a point in time. Then they re-signed Henrik Rybinski, Cole McWard, Vinny Lettieri, Gavin McKenna signed his ELC, Samuel Havlaj signed, Emil Andre re-signed for 2 years, Ryan Tverberg, Jacob Quinlan, and William Villeneuve re-signed with the Maple Leafs. Now lineups. This is where it gets interesting. I just want to be able to see. There we go. This might be easier to do. I think your top line has to be McKenna, Nyes, Matthews. I think it has to be. You have to try and just get this top line cooking. Big body Nyes with Matthews and McKenna. If Nyes and Matthews can go off, push McKenna. I think a good year for McKenna in his rookie season is aiming for 70 points. 60 to 70 points is a pretty solid year for rookie Gavin McKenna, and I think that is very obtainable, especially with the two guys he's playing with. Matthews now has his playmaker back, and Nyes has a guy in Gavin McKenna that the puck can go through to create offense. They finally have that Mitch Marner-esque player back. Now, I don't want to put too much pressure on McKenna, but he's coming into a team that missed the playoffs after making it 10 straight years or 9 straight years, whatever it was. He's got to have a decent year. He's got to. And I think he will. I think he will if you put him beside Matthews and Nyes. Your second line, I think Easton Cowan's ready. Nylander and Tavares, as much as it pains me to still have Tavares on the second line, it might work. Now, I'm among the group that thinks Shane Wright should be a Maple Leaf. I think that'd be a great second-line center, young second-line center to play with Nylander. I don't know what you could give up for him, though. That's just sort of an idea. I think Tavares is more of a 3C, in my opinion. He's quite a bit slower than he used to be. He's still got elite hands that help out along the half-board and down in the corners. He's still pretty elite at retrieving pucks. He's just not as fast. I think putting him up against top line or top 6 opponents is maybe a little bit too much for him now, but we'll see how it works. This kind of the acquisition of McKenna kind of refreshes the top 6, and it moves Nylander into more of a position where he doesn't have to be the guy with Matthews. I think he thrived when Marner was here because he got the second line minutes, and they were able to roll lines 1 and 2 and 3, and just it'd be wave after wave. I think that's going to come back. Again, I don't think it's going to be as good as what Marner was, but I think to start, Gavin needs to have a decent year. Now on to the third and fourth line. It's a bunch of depth. If you've got John Tavares as your 2C, I would assume Nick Paul takes over as 3C, even though it's got him listed as a left wing. Colton Sissons and Roslovic. I think Roslovic could be a good second line center to play with Easton Cowan and William Nylander. I think Roslovic is pretty underrated for what he does. When he signed with Edmonton, I wanted Toronto to go get him. And is there a way to check his stats? There we go. We're kind of doing this on the fly, so bear with me. But if he can have, seasons like he had in Columbus, 45, 44, 50 point range, that'd be pretty solid. And I think it would be doable on that top line. On that third line. They're paying him a pretty penny for it, so we'll see. But Colton Sissons, Roslovic, Paul, again, I would much rather like Nick Paul, John Tavares, Colton Sissons. I think John Tavares, a little bit of offense down there would be nice. You could have the defense of Roslovic playing with Nylander and Cowan. Probably quite a bit faster than Tavares as well. But either way, solid bottom six. They've got Dakota Joshua, Teddy Bluger, Brendan Duhaime. And now to the back end. Morgan Riley, Darren Radish, Jake McCabe, Christopher Tanev, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Troy Stetcher. We'll cover the goalies quickly. Bobrovsky, Stolarz, that'll be your tandem. They brought in the Florida tandem. I think if you can get one good year of 3 or 2 of 3 from Bobrovsky, I think that's a success for the contract. It seems like the Leafs are really pushing this year, and we'll see how that works out for them. But yeah, decent tandem and a decent third goalie in Akhtiamov. Back to the defense. Morgan Riley was one that I did want them to get rid of. As the offseason is expiring, I don't think he's going anywhere. I just don't think there was an appetite for him. I think he played that poorly last year that nobody wants to bring on his cap hit and pay him for what he does. I like the Darren Radish acquisition. I think that adds a lot, not only to the power play that was struggling last year, but it adds a big shot from the back end, a guy who can move the puck out of the defensive zone, which they struggled heavily with last year. But one guy's not going to change everything, right? They still have Ekman-Larsson, who's a decent puck mover. I think playing him top 6 minutes, playing him on your bottom pair there, I think he'll be decent. And then Tanev and McCabe. Tanev's an interesting one because he's one that you don't want to log a lot of minutes early in the season. You want him to play most of his games at the end of the season. So among my thoughts, one of them is bringing up for the first month. Where is he? Ben Danford. Bring in Ben Danford, play him beside Jake McCabe, play him with Christopher Tanev, play him with Ekman-Larsson, just get him in there, get him to be the sub for Tanev so he plays a bulk of the beginning of the season, and if he does bad, then you send him back down and bring up another guy. Or make a trade. But what you can't do is have Chris Tanev play all season. His body can't keep up with it, and if you want him back to being fresh for playoffs, if that's a thing for the Leafs, you can't have him play a lot of games this year. I'm thinking around 50. And if you're playing a bulk of those near the end of the season, have him in the last 20 games for sure. It's going to be interesting. But the good news is they do have defensemen, right? And, maybe Ekman Larson and Emil Andre are going to be the ones that sub out, so you're not playing Ekman Larson as much, right? I think all in all, they have done quite a lot of improvement. I'm excited to see what they can do. Again, you have the likes of Stevie Lorentz, Zach McEwen, and Emil Andre to come in as well. And Max Domi. I'm not even going to talk about Domi, to be honest. I heard he got hurt. Does this tell you what it is? His back. Honestly, I don't expect to see him at all this year. I think he'll be probably on injury reserve for most of the year. If anything, you get him back near the end of the year, and he just adds depth for a playoff run. To sum up my thoughts on this team, I think they can be a playoff team. They probably were a playoff team last year. They just played so bad. And I think the goal is to make the playoffs. I think the goal is to come back in to this year. You know, Matthews, 40-goal season, get back on that pace. McKenna, 70-point season, get back up there. Matthew Nyes, he needs to have a breakout year. His highest point total last year was 66. If he can put up 66, 70 points again, I think that's kind of what you pay him to do. You pay him to be physical. One of the things I don't like with Nyes is, and obviously it's understandable, but I think from his injuries, his knee last year, a big one, that concussion against the Vegas Golden Knights where Zach Whitecloud absolutely just lit him up. The concussion against, or presumed concussion against Florida in the playoffs in his rookie year. I think it's all kind of changed his mindset within hockey, if that makes sense. This is just my take on it, but I don't think he's that physical player anymore. And I'm not saying he can't be. I'm just saying his mindset has shifted because of injuries. Now, if that's the case, this is probably a guy you don't want on the team, and I would look to trade him as soon as possible. But again, I would give him another year, and if he can, you know, have a solid year, again like this, you know, I think he'll be fine. But if you play him next year and he doesn't do well on that top line, it's like, did you just waste all of his value? Because if he plays not great another year, even though last year was solid, it's really going to put into question what they got with this guy. Obviously, I don't want to see that. I want to see him do very well. But only time will tell. It's going to be a fresh start. I've optimism for this year. I'm naturally a more optimistic person. So yeah, we'll have to just wait and see. But again, I think to wrap up all my points here, I think they should be a playoff team. Whether it's divisional spot or wild card doesn't really matter. I think they should get back in. And then once you're in, anything can happen. So that's kind of where we're sitting. And Morgan Rielly needs to have a much better year than he had last year, because that's not going to cut it. He needs to be back within 50 points. He needs to be back moving the puck, and take some stress off of the incoming Darren Radish. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I will see you very shortly. You can see the date on my screen. It is July 24th. I'm thinking this will be posted tomorrow, Saturday, July 25th. I'm thinking the first stream will be the Wednesday coming up. That's what fits my schedule the best. It'll give me some time to record probably episodes 1, 2, and maybe 3 for that CFB series. And it'll get me used to the game too, because it's a brand new game for me. I've seen gameplay online but I haven't played it myself. So, again, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and watch out for more content. Oh, I'm so excited for it. Anyways, guys, peace out.